What's up guys, it's Awesomeness, and a few months ago I decided to play Hollow Knight on stream, and I never uploaded it, so here it is. So I actually started this game before the stream, but it was an insignificant amount, so I didn't restart the game. But yeah, we're making our way up. We need to start fighting the first boss of this game in a few minutes, so we're just gonna make our way up. And along our path, we're actually going to encounter a stronger enemy that we're going to have to face off, though it's actually quite easy to dodge his attacks. All you really have to do is dodge, run out, run in, and jump when he does that wave thing, and that's all you really have to do. We're going to defeat him here in a second, just because he has quite a bit of health, but yeah, generally pretty easy to fight. Not really that hard to conquer this guy. Pick up all the Geo that we can use later to buy stuff. Now we're just reclaiming our soul because we died here last. And this is going to be the boss arena. But first we need to defeat a few of these enemies. The guy with the horns is kind of annoying because he just charges you and goes pretty fast. Heal up, we just hold middle click, and then now we're in the boss fight. So we're gonna start by fighting this guy, and we actually don't do so well against him. We do okay right here, but yeah, we get hit there. We get hit again some point over here. We heal first, though. And in a moment, yeah, now we're just trapped in the corner and we can't really escape, so we have to just stand there and let it happen to us, and then yeah, we die, what, like 1, 2, like maybe, what, like 2 or 17 times before we actually end up defeating him. But yeah, we start taking him down here, and then in a second he tries to start throwing a fit again, but then okay, and he just breaks the floor. Floor collapses, and we end up taking him out. That's the first boss done. This was a cool boss fight. I really do like how this game does boss fights. Quite cool, the arena and everything. We get the city crest. We'll know what to use for it later. I had to move the camera so that I could show my health, but as you'll notice, it's kind of off-center. That's going to be fixed next time. And now we're going to come over here to the shop, and we need to buy a couple of charms. So we end up getting the Wayfinder's charm. That just puts a marker on the map. We get it in a second, so that we can just reference our location whenever we need to. And yeah, right now we're just looking at all of the other stuff that's offered. Not really anything that's useful to us right now, but we will end up getting some of this stuff later, just because we'll need it later. And yeah, so in a second here, we're probably going to buy that charm. Buy that. Come on, just buy that charm. That's all you need. Just buy the charm. Come on. Not hard. Oh, yeah, we also get the quill, I guess. But yeah. Get the charm. Not that hard. Okay. Yeah, the Wayward Compass charm, which lets us see where we are on the map, and that'll help us to locate it. That's telling us how we have to go rest at a bench in order to equip the charm. Also, resting at a bench saves your progress and saves your location of where you last sat on a bench. So that will be helpful in the future when I need to log out or whatever. And yeah, we equip the Wayward Compass so that we can know where we are on the map. And then we talk to this guy for a second, and then we make our way over to a new area. And once we actually get there in a second, we find this crystal cavern, but it doesn't really have much for us right now. Just like one NPC that we get to interact with, but it didn't really have anything else, so we kind of just decided to leave because there wasn't anything of interest here yet. And next we end up just going through the crossroads, finding a new area again, and we run into a mini-boss named Gruz, who is a mother of, like, one of these bugs, whatever they're called, and we end up defeating her quite easily. Like, right here, she's dead now. We lost a couple of health, but we didn't end up dying, which was good. And yeah, and then she actually explodes into some smaller enemies. There's a good chance for us to get some more Geo after fighting these guys, just so we have more money. And yeah, also a good chance to refill on soul if we need to. But that's pretty much it. And then now we go down below, we actually discover there are a few enemies again. Not really that hard to deal with, you can kind of just jump over the charged attacks. And we actually discover a new NPC down here named Sly. And he's gonna actually become a shop owner up top, and that's gonna be useful later for when we need more charms, whatever. And at some point we actually do end up trying to get some help from one of our friends on Discord who's played this game before. His friend from school. His name is Zach, and, well, he goes by AwesomeZM on games, but he told us that we need to buy the Gathering Swarm charm so that we can magnetize Geo that ends up around us, and this will take up one of our charm slots, allowing us to, one of our charm notches, allowing us to just pick up more Geo more easily, just so we have more money when we defeat enemies, and more money to buy things later. But yeah, now we're back up top because we needed to visit Sly's new shop. And we actually end up equipping this Gathering Swarm along with our Wayward Compass right now, because wanted to. And then we actually find out that we do need to move on to another new area, and, well, in a minute. After collecting this Geo chest, you can see the Gathering Swarm in action there, and then we end up going on to a new area where we end up finding these weird, like, torches and whatever. We destroy a few because the physics in this game is kind of nice just to break stuff. But yeah, we enter this temple of sorts, and, well, in a minute, we hesitate for a minute there for some reason. We enter this temple of sorts, we rest on the bench to update our map and to save our progress. And then we run into this guy, and we find that he wants to give us a gift, and it's our first ability, which is going to be our Vengeful Spirit, as it will display in a second. And basically what this does is we can cast this out of our body, and then it will attack whatever's nearby, but it costs a certain amount of soul each time, so we have limited uses on it. But now we're stuck in this trial course, just so that we learn how to use it, and this guy needs a beast killed that's in his way. So all we gotta do is we just gotta make our way through this labyrinth area, and eventually we do make our way down. There are these little, like, rolling bugs that try to attack you throughout, spikes on the ceiling, spikes on the floor. I'm not really all that good at the parkour, as you can see there. I just kind of walked into the spikes. Yeah, and I do it again. Unfortunately, I'm not really that good at fighting the enemies quite yet, but I've gotten better. And we learn what pogoing is, too, eventually, which is just like jumping off of enemies by doing a downwards attack on them. And that allows us to gain some extra height in some cases, and in some cases it just allows us to dodge attacks for longer. We end up killing these blue bugs, which give us extra life temporarily, which can help in certain situations. I haven't really found a super good situation for this extra life, but now we encounter a bigger one of these spitting bugs, which we can only attack with the Vengeful Spirit, because he has long-ranged attacks. But he also sends out tiny minions, which you can kill in order to get some soul back to use for the Vengeful Spirit. And we actually do end up losing our 2 extra lives there, so I guess that was kind of useful. And now we end up getting a new charm called the Soul Catcher, which is going to allow us to get more soul whenever we kill enemies, which will be better for healing in time. And now this Snail Shaman will actually let us out because we defeated the beast that he wanted defeated. And he lets us move on, so we start running away, but before we go to the bench, and we find out that the Soul Catcher takes up 2 notches when we only have 1 remaining, so we actually end up having to take off. At first we think we have to take off the Wayward Compass because we think it's less useful, but we're actually informed by our friend Zach that the Wayward Compass is more useful for right now, so we continue to use that one and abandon the
What?
Wait, no, it's there. Different area, sorry. I'm lost in thought. Not there. There. Yeah.
And then we make our way over to this area.
I knew where it was.
We noticed that there was one of these creatures blocking this path as well. So we start fighting.
He's gonna shoot.
Oh.
And but this guy will stay dead.
Be able to kill it and move on into a new area. But before we actually move on to that new area, we are going to have to, in second, once we defeat this guy, we have to heal first, some of our soul, get some soul back from these guys, end up killing this guy. But then we are informed that we shouldn't be going in here yet, we actually should go back and buy some other stuff. But first we read the Pilgrim's thing, and then we end up going back to...
There's like 5 seconds between when you talk. When I hear you on Discord call, when I hear you talk.
Because we need these just so we have some waypoints and some general direction.
Okay. So go up.
Looking at a map for the Forgotten Crossroads and
get the bench one.
And whatever other place we need to look at.
Okay. Get the.
So we do that, and then when we
Wait, get all.
Yeah, we
get all.
just
Get all of them? Alright.
do that, and then we end up moving back to Green Path after. As soon as we're done purchasing all of these, we move back to Green Path, because that's what we need to do. And I guess I accidentally left some audio on here, but that's fine. We make our way back to Green Path, and now start going into it. And I don't know why we keep hesitating in place. We're probably just talking to my friend, because he was my only viewer at that point. And then we get lost again, we fall into the water, because we're really good at parkour, for sure. So we make it over here, and we just keep going, make our way up, and we get finally officially told that the name of this area is Green Path. I've been referring to it as that just because I already knew, and
You hear that voice?
find the map NPC, which we had encountered in the Forgotten Crossroads. We just hadn't done it on stream. We did
You know,
it
my
before.
quality is surprisingly good.
So we get our map updated to include Green Path for a small price of like 30 geo. And then we make our way over and we find this hunter. Listen, to approach Brutus, are you a hunter like me? Do you feel the urge inside to start killing? Well, then take it, my journal, it will aid you. At first the text may seem difficult to discern, but a learned hunter will come to understand its words. Venture the depths of this land and slay its beasts. Prove yourself worthy to bear the mark of the hunter. And yeah, so we basically just get an index that explains all of the creatures that lurk down here, and we learn how to use it, we learn how to access it, and in a second, well, first we're going to look at our map and make sure that we have Green Path on there, make sure we have Forgotten Crossroads, looking at all the charms, all of the places. We see that it's split into 3 areas: Dirtmouth, Forgotten Crossroads, and Green Path. And then we can see what our equipment is right now, and how we have the Vengeful Spirit and the Nail. And then we go to the Hunter's Journal and we get to see all of the names of all of the creatures we've encountered so far. And yeah, it also includes our Shade, which is our spirit that gets left behind when we die, that we have to kill to reabsorb. And yeah, we just spend a while looking at this just to get learned up, but not too long because we don't want to hold up the script. And then we have to fight this sort of mini-boss bush creature, which isn't that hard to defeat once you learn its pattern. If you move to one side of the island, then it can't really attack you on that side. And then we start following this mysterious
is there a worm down there?
girl who looks kind of like us, just taller and, yeah, with spikier horns. And then we pay 50 geo to create a bench, well, to access the bench. We go over there, save again, and update our map again.
To only use the abilities that you have unlocked.
He has ranged attack as well, but we can fight him more than
Wait,
a
you're
spirit.
wall jump, dash, double
Shield, but then we got a logo off of his shield,
Nice.
and we can get behind him and attack him, and
What's that?
end up taking him out.
Obviously that wasn't the boss.
We then make our way upwards and
I
onwards
died.
Yeah, no.
out of this part of Green Path,
Oh no, that's still a hard enemy.
and we actually end up,
Like, he takes 3
in a
shots.
second, after fighting that bush creature again, we end up going up and back into the Forgotten Crossroads.
You could do
where
this.
we died before
This is the
trying to
first
fight this huge Venge Fly. This is like the 5th attempt of us trying to take this guy out, because he was really annoying to try and take out. But the main reason we're taking this guy out is because it saves an NPC that'll be useful later in the game and could probably affect our gameplay negatively if we don't save him, if we leave him for dead, which we had the option to. And now we start fighting the second boss of the game, named Hornet, which is the mysterious girl we were following earlier. She has 4 attacks, one of them where she yells, "Hia!" And then another sounds like she's yelling Adidas, like the shoe brand, but she's not, she's yelling in another language. And it just sounds like it, and each of these sound cues correlate to 2 of her attacks, apparently, but I couldn't really identify which 2 each one correlated to, so it was kind of just a matter of chance on whether we identified it successfully or dodged it successfully. So healing was kind of difficult here, just because we needed to do a lot of it, and we didn't have much time between attacks, but we did have enough, for sure. But yeah, we just keep fighting her, and eventually we do end up besting her, but, yeah. So I'm gonna let you guys watch whatever's left of this fight, and then I'll keep commentating. And we do get hit quite a few more times, but eventually do end up defeating her. I think it's about right here. Yeah. We end up defeating her, like, right here. Gonna be like, yeah, right here. We end up defeating her, and she swings off, and we end up getting a new ability called the Mothwing Cloak, which allows us to dash. And this dash allows us to just, yeah, dash whenever we want to. It doesn't use any soul, it doesn't use any geo, it doesn't use anything. So we can just dash to do whatever. We get a little bit of lore here. Not quite sure what it means yet, but it seems to be some sort of spirits. And yeah, now this land, I guess, has been blessed or freed or something. And then we make our way back to the bench. We learn that we can dash infinitely, and we save. Alright, that's gonna do it for this video. Just a reminder, this is streamed live from my Twitch, so make sure to go check that out. And on my second channel, I am uploading the stream VOD, so if you want to see the full gameplay, you can go over there and check that out. But yeah, that's it. So if you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss my next video, and peace out.